Uh, Welcome to part. Uh, yeah. This is gonna be an intro to matter.js, which is the physics engine that I'm gonna use for um, the Plinko. That is meant to teach you about the binomial distribution. Yeah. So basically, okay. So first, we'll have to import matter.js. Importing is basically just we have to have we have to include these two scripts. You can either link them. Okay, well, you can link them either. You can either download them and then link it in the HTML file, or yeah. So you can either link it in a HTML file, or uh, yeah, get the link directly from the website, the docs, and just put the full link in here. But I've decided to make it faster. I'll just download the file and then link it here. So yeah, I'm using URL4 just in case, dynamic um, dynamic file systems, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we have to include this matter.js, matter.min.js. So both of these are part of the quote unquote module, and then we'll be using functions and objects from these two modules. And I have two other scripts. This is for the Plinko, like generating the Plinko and dealing with all the matter.js instances. Gamble.js is just meant for like when I click on, whoops. Okay, well it's not. It's I need to wait for this to load. But basically, it's when I click on the button to drop the ball, and yeah. So basically, okay, well I need to log in again. Yeah, so gamble.js, is the one in charge of, me clicking this button and then helping me drop the balls and stuff, and of course this menu over here too. So, um, yeah, so here, as you can see, we have this is just a basic template for matter.js. So of course, we don't have to have all these because these are just shorthand for matter.engine, render, matter.render, all these. I could just refer to matter.engine straight, but it's easier. So in order to run a matter.js script to make it do anything, we need to create a new render. So it has to start rendering stuff, and then I have to um, render it with an engine because it has to render with a physics engine. And I also have options that I can plug in. So as you can see here, wireframes is false because if I didn't include this, wireframes is true by default. And wireframes basically I can't um, I can't fill in the colors of objects. So for example, if I had a rectangle, it's gonna look exactly like I put it. I can't fill in the colors. It's just gonna be a wireframe because the frame, the outline, the borders here, that's just gonna be the whole thing. So I want it to be a height of 700, as you can see here, height 700, 850 across. And then, yeah, and then for, and here, so I need to create an engine, right? So this should be up here. I create an engine, a new physics engine, right? And then I put it into here. So it has to render with this new instance, engine instance, right? And then after I add all my objects, right? All my widgets, I'll run the render. And then after that, I have to run a runner. So it's gonna, so render is just gonna render whatever I got. Runner is gonna run everything that's, supposed to be running. So render is more just um, physics or visual wise. Runner will actually like get everything synchronized. So as you can see here, um, I can create a new file. So I'll just create a new file actually. Um, create a new file. Okay, well maybe not. Okay, so basically we have the ability to create lots of shapes and stuff, right? So one main shape that we can do is, I can do, um, okay, let's create a rectangle, why not? Equals bodies dot rectangle, right? And then I have to feed it a position, X and Y. So basically, let's say this is a screen. X and Y, for example, if I have a rectangle of height, you know, 5, 5, 5 width, and height 10, right? Let's say I place it here. X is gonna be the distance from the left, to the center of mass. So this is gonna be, if this is 20 pixels, I need it to be 22.5 pixels because it needs to be in the center. And then if this is 15 pixels, I need to be 20 pixels because this needs to be in the center. Yeah. So I need to supply it X value to give it a position. Let's say 30, 40, and then I need to specify the height and width. Okay, well, the width and height because X and then Y first. I mean, X first and Y. So I'll put 5 and 10. Yeah. And then I also have the ability to give it different options. So, for example, let's say I want to give it, you know, I want to give it a label, right? This label doesn't actually do anything. It's just that I can label it and then refer to the label in JavaScript later on. So I can just say, oh, this is just a test rectangle. And then, yeah, I can also say, um, is static, right? It's true. So if it's static, it won't move. So it'll be just fixed in place right here. It won't drop. The physics engine won't affect it. Yeah, yeah. And then now that I created a rectangle, I haven't actually added it to the engine yet. So I can say composite.add engine.world because I created a new instance of the engine, right? So I can add this rectangle to the world, and that will effectively add it to the the engine, the world, which will be rendered and then run. Yeah. So circle. Let's say I want to create a circle. I can do this. So I can just give it like different coordinates, right? And here instead of width and height, I give it a radius. So let's say like 10. And then again, I can put a label. I can give it like, oh, test circle is static. I can give it false so it can like fly around. Yeah. Oh, and also when I add it to the composite, it has to be an array because um, usually you add more than one item, so they make the default an array. So even if it's one item, you just put it an array and it's fine. So I can put this. Yeah, and actually, if I want to condense it, I can also put these two in the same array, and that will work. And that's about it. Yeah. So after that, it will render, and then it will run the entire simulation basically. And that's it for matter.js introduction.